In 2021, the name Gabby Petito became a cry heard across America. A young woman, full of life, chasing her dreams of adventure. But behind the smiles and the road trip videos was a storm quietly brewing. A storm that would end in tragedy and a desperate manhunt that captured the world's attention. This is not just Gabby's story. It's a story about love, control, and a nation asking how such a nightmare could unfold in plain sight. A young couple sets out on a dream road trip across America. Smiles, sunsets, national parks, love on display for the world to see. But just weeks later, that dream spiraled into a nightmare that would captivate millions. This is the heartbreaking story of Gabby Petito and the betrayal that shocked the world. Gabby Petito was just 22 years old, a free spirit, an artist, and a girl who dreamed of turning her love for travel into a lifestyle. She met Brian Laundrie in high school, but it wasn't until 2019 that their paths crossed again. She was vibrant, bubbly, always ready with a laugh. He was quieter, artistic, sketchbook in hand, with a thoughtful, brooding side. To outsiders, they looked like opposites, but to those who knew them, they were inseparable. In July 2020, they announced their engagement. Gabby's family celebrated, believing she had found her forever. But even then, small cracks were forming, moments of tension, disagreements that never quite reached the surface of their Instagram-perfect photos. By July 2021, Gabby and Brian set off on a cross-country van life journey. Her YouTube videos showed painted deserts, national parks, cozy van dinners. To millions online, it looked like the perfect young love adventure. But behind the scenes, not everything was picture perfect. Family and friends would later recall Brian's controlling behavior and how Gabby often seemed to bend herself just to keep him calm. On August 12th, their perfect image shattered publicly. A passerby called 911 in Utah to report a fight between them. When police arrived, they found Gabby and Brian. The body cam footage would later be seen by millions. Gabby's face was tear-streaked, her voice trembling. She admitted she had been stressed, even scratched Brian, but witnesses insisted Brian had struck her. Brian, in contrast, appeared calm, almost detached, even joking lightly with the officers. The officers decided not to arrest either of them. Instead, they separated the couple for the night. Gabby stayed with the van, while Brian went to a hotel. It was a decision that would later be heavily criticized. Looking back, this moment felt like a missed chance. A chance to save Gabby's life. After that, Gabby's social media posts became less frequent, less joyful. Her last Instagram post on August 25th showed her smiling in front of a mural in Ogden, Utah. But her family noticed something off. The caption didn't sound like her. Then came silence. Her texts grew strange, robotic. One message to her mother read, "No service in Yosemite." But the family later confirmed Gabby had never planned to be in Yosemite. Calls went unanswered. Messages failed to deliver. The vibrant girl who FaceTimed her mom almost every day was gone. Then came the gut punch. On September 1st, Brian Laundrie quietly returned to his parents' home in Florida, alone, driving Gabby's van. He offered no explanation, no phone call to her family, and he immediately hired a lawyer. Where was Gabby? As Gabby's family pleaded for answers, the case exploded online. Her smiling face, once just another Instagram account, became a symbol of urgency. TikTok sleuths, YouTubers, everyday people around the world began combing through footage and timelines. One family's dash cam video caught Gabby's van parked on a dirt road in Wyoming. That tiny detail helped narrow the search. The whole nation was watching. But Brian, he said nothing. Gabby's parents begged Brian and his family for answers. None came. Days turned into frantic searches. Hashtags exploded online. Hashtag Find Gabby. Brian stayed silent. His parents shielded him, refusing interviews. To the world, this silence felt deafening. On September 11th, Gabby's family officially reported her missing. Police questioned Brian, but he had already hired a lawyer. The boy who was once smiling in photos with Gabby now appeared as a figure shrouded in suspicion. The internet turned into detectives overnight. Thousands pieced together timelines, mapped out van sightings, shared tips with the FBI. Gabby's face was everywhere. News outlets, TikTok, Twitter. America was watching. And then, just days later, Brian vanished too. On September 19th, in Wyoming's Grand Teton National Park, search teams made a tragic discovery. Gabby Petito's body was found near a campsite, not far from where her van had been spotted. A nation held its breath. Two days later, the coroner ruled it a homicide. Cause of death, strangulation. Gabby was gone. She was only 22 years old. The world erupted in grief, outrage, and questions. How could someone so full of life, who shared her journey with the world, be silenced so violently? Millions grieved a young life cut short, a love story turned into a nightmare. For her parents, the worst fears had been realized. As Gabby's family mourned, and with Brian Laundrie's disappearance, attention now turned to him. With Gabby gone and him on the run, the manhunt consumed headlines. He left his parents' home, supposedly for a hike in Florida's Carlton Reserve. For weeks, law enforcement searched Florida's Carlton Reserve with helicopters, drones, swamplands filled with snakes, alligators, and dense forest. And while the FBI searched, the public speculated. Was Brian hiding? Had his parents helped him escape? Was he even alive? The mystery only deepened the obsession. On October 20th, Brian Laundrie's remains were discovered in the reserve, along with a backpack and notebook. Inside that notebook was a chilling confession. Brian admitted he had killed Gabby. No trial, no courtroom, no answers to the many questions that linger. Just a family broken, and a love story turned into tragedy. Gabby's story shook America, not just because of her tragic end, but because of what it revealed. The missed red flags, the silence of those who could have spoken up, the way social media shaped the investigation, turning strangers into advocates. Her death sparked a global conversation. Why did the system fail to protect her? Why were warning signs ignored? Her family created the Gabby Petito Foundation, dedicated to helping victims of domestic violence and missing persons. They remind us that behind every smiling photo, there can be pain we don't see. Gabby Petito's voice was stolen, but her story continues to echo, a warning, a heartbreak, and a call for justice. Gabby Petito's story isn't just about a young woman whose life was stolen. It's about how quickly love can turn to control, how a dream can become a nightmare, and how silence can be deadly. She was 22. She had her whole life ahead of her. And yet, her voice still echoes, urging us to see, to listen, to act before it's too late. Rest in peace, Gabby. Gone too soon, but never forgotten. What are your thoughts? Drop it in the comment section. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. This is Dark Shadows of Justice. Truth in the shadows.